Hey, what is up everyone? Hope you're all having a wonderful time. Here a quick guide for the critical Squirrel Beastmaster in last Epoch. The critical Squirrel Beastmaster is a very strong build that can do most content in the game. With its high damage output you can very easily delete bosses within seconds. Shout out to Turbo's Death Knight Squirrel Beastmaster for a well written guide of the build. I'll put a link to it in the description if you want to check it out. This version do have some small tweaks to it from his guide, with some quality of life that suits my personal needs a little bit better. The build is built around the unique helm Herald of Squirrel, which will convert your wolves into squirrels. We can also summon squirrels up to twice of our companion limit of a total of 10. By stacking a lot of damage multipliers we can make it so each companion will deal tons of damage. By using 2 Apogees of the Frozen Light we get +6 to summon wolves, so we can get all damage multiplier from the skill. We also get so minions deal more cold and necrotic damage here as well. And this works very well with the last key item for this build being Yulra's Path, making it so when Maelstrom is cast from any source your minions gain between 2 and 4 flat melee necrotic damage for a maximum duration of the Maelstrom. And these will stack up and add a lot of flat damage for each of our squirrel. We have a lot of skills that buff this build even further. We have Warcry, which will grant our minion a lot of crit strike chance and also provide us with Maelstrom stacks. As we're not casting Maelstroms ourselves, getting some cooldown recovery will make it so we can cast our Warcry more often and get more Maelstrom stacks. Do keep an eye off your mana though, so you don't consume more mana than you can regen. By having Maelstrom we get a lot of flat necrotic damage to our minions, but also this will provide us with permanent haste and frenzy as well. We're using Frenzy Totem to boost attack speed of the squirrels and also to reset our companion ability every time we summon the totem. To move around we are using Fury Leap, and we also get some flat damage here to our minions for a short duration every time we use Leap, and the squirrels will also jump with us, making it so we can have a bit more control of where our minions are located. We will also summon Veins every time we leap, and this works really well with our weapon, the Apogee sword, which will provide us with a stack of Frozen Vengeance when a minion dies. And this also works when we overextend the max limit of our Veins, so we can easily pre-stack this before a boss for example. When we hit the enemy with a melee attack, we extend a stack of Frozen Vengeance, which will grant all of our minions Frenzy and also 30% more damage to shield enemy for 8 seconds, and also freeze up to 8 nearby normal and magic enemies for 3 seconds. For defense it's not the best for this build. We do get some damage reductions from the Berserker and the Boar aspect, but other than that we only get our health basically as our main source of defense. It's really good that our squirrels kills everything so quickly, so we don't really have to worry about it too much. For some pros, great single target damage. It's a minion build, damage is always up while we can stay at a safe distance. The minion control, all squirrels will jump with us when we are using Leap, helps with boss fights and overall clearing while doing monoliths. And for the cons, we have a lot of uniques that is required for this build, and the helm is quite rare to get. Defense is not great, got some damage reductions, but mostly defense come from health. Also, being a minion build, it can be really annoying on certain boss fights if your minions are dying. The build uses a lot of uniques, and let's start with the build enabling piece, Herald of the Scurry. And this helm provides a lot of increase to our health, increased minion dodge rating and plus to level of summon wolves. And the helm converts your wolves into squirrels and make us summon squirrels up to twice of our companion limit. We also get some chance to bleed and shred physical resist on hit for the squirrels, and Howl is now replaced by Squirrel Rage, which grants the squirrels 40% increased movement speed and also melee attack speed for 4 seconds. We're using 2 Apogees of Frozen Light, and this sword provides +3 to cold and necrotic minion skills, chance for minions to shield attacks when hit, minion deal up to 33% more cold and necrotic damage to shield enemies, and when consumed, Frozen Vengeance stack from when a minion die, our minion gets Frenzy and 30% more damage to shield enemies for 8 seconds. Yura's Path provide increased health, effectiveness, some resist, endurance and also increased movement speed. Here the Maelstrom stacks will convert to necrotic and make our minion gain up to 4 flat melee necrotic damage per Maelstrom stack. Death Rattle is huge boost to minion critical strike multiplier, really huge for this build to have. Other than that we don't really get anything else from this amulet, purely the damage. Ribbon of Blood is another unique and is basically to help our squirrels to stay alive a little bit better. We get some increased health to our character and up to 4% of minion melee damage leech as health on hit. Increased leech rate and added melee physical damage for our minions, and it also gives our minion critical strike avoidance here as well. Dedication of an erased primalist provide +1 to level of all primalist skills, less damage over time taken from slowed enemies, and a chance on hit to grant one of our minions aspect of the spider. The aspect lasts 8 seconds and grant 50% more damage to slowed enemies and 100% chance to slow on hit. As this is a Weaver's Will unique, the rest of the stats on this might be different for everyone, but some to look out for is going to be minion damage, strength, health and also resist. Some stats for this build: try to go for health, resist, critical strike avoidance for the cap, increase minion damage, minion health, increase cooldown recovery speed, strength, and I would recommend going for one source of increased mana regen. And for the class specific stats, try to go for +2 level of Summon Wolf, minion melee critical strike chance, and increase minion melee damage. For the idols, you can choose if you want to go for more offense or defense. First, you want to go for 2 large idols with increased health and increased minion melee damage. Then for more offense, you can go for grand idols with chance to gain haste for 3 seconds when summoning a totem and increase minion melee attack speed. For defense, you want to fill the rest with stout idols with double life modifiers. Some of the more notable blessings is going to be from the Black Sun, and here we get the Void Resistance, Ending the Storm for the Lightning Resist, Reign of Dragon, you can get up to 20% to all resistance, all the critical strike avoidance for the easy cap, the Age of Winter for the physical resistance, and Spirit of Fire for the increased minion damage. And let's go over quickly the most important notes for the skills, starting with Summon Wolf. So the wolves will be our primer minions, which will transform into squirrels by using our helm. Savage Hunter for the huge damage multiplier, Legendary Bite for even more melee damage multiplier, Tundra Stalker will add some flat cold damage to our minions, Frozen Fang will give our wolves or squirrels the ability of Ice Bite, which will deal high damage in a large area, which will help out with the clear. Pack Hunter for the maximum limit of our wolves. On the hunt for the huge increase to attack speed and also movement speed. Howl of Might for the damage multiplier and also some dodge rating. Safety in numbers make it so when we summon our wolves or the squirrels, we will summon to our maximum number of companions at once. Snarl will make it so when we use the companion ability, this will now also increase the melee damage for our squirrels. We're using Maelstrom so we can get the flat necrotic damage from our boots and also provide with permanent uptime of haste and frenzy. Whirlpool makes it so Maelstrom stacks have a longer duration. Calm makes it so Maelstrom costs less mana. We have Windswipe for the haste, and we have Wind Fury for the frenzy when we get 6 or more stacks of Maelstrom. Essence of Debris makes it so each stack of Maelstrom will grant some increased chance to stun enemies. Healing Wings also makes it so Maelstrom now heals allies in its area. We're using Summon Frenzy Totem to boost the increased attack speed by our minions and also to reset our companion ability. Grounded for the global melee damage, and this will affect our minions. Symbol of Selflessness will make it so the Frenzy Totem buff is more effective, but the Frenzy Totem now only affects our companions. Revetly for some increased effect of Frenzy. Beastal Frenzy for even more companion melee physical damage. Fierce Cry will make it so when we summon Frenzy Totem we now refresh the companion ability. Leader Pack will now make it so when we use the companion ability, we will increase critical strike chance by our wolves or squirrels. Fury Leap is used for our mobility skill and also to generate vines, which will make it so when they die we will gain a Frozen Vengeance stack, so our minions get Frenzy and 30% more damage multiplier. Warrior's Entrance make it so us and our minions gain additional melee damage for 3 seconds. Pack Leader make it so the squirrels now will leap with us. Herald's Protection make it so we are immune while we are leaping. Phantom Strike for the cooldown recovery speed. And we're using Rise and also Poison and Thicken, and this will make it so we summon vines when you leap, both from the beginning and also at the arrival. The last skill is called Warcry, and this is used to buff our minions even further and also to gain ourselves Maelstrom stacks. Shallow Breath will reduce the cooldown of the skill by 50%. Bringer of Winter makes it so our minions get increased critical strike chance and also chance to chill. We're using Battle Cry for some extra increased chance to critical strike chance. Juggernaut make us invulnerable for 1 second after we use Warcry. Whirlpool will make it so we cast Maelstrom when we use the Warcry skill. Purging Shout will cleanse all negative elements on us when we use Warcry. And Invigorate just makes it so the heal from the Warcry also affect our minions. And here a quick preview of the passive skill tree, but for more information about the build I do recommend you go and check out the last Epoch build planner. Both for the passives and the skills you can simply use the progression bar at the bottom to easily see when and where to progress in the build. To the left of the build planner you can also get the basic loot filter of the build that will highlight all you need to get for both leveling and for the endgame. Link for this will be in the description. So what do you think about the critical Squirrels Beastmaster? Have you tried it out before or tried another version of it? Feel free to tell me in the comments below. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. If you want to support the channel even further, you can check out my Patreon for behind the scene footage, virtual hangouts and more. If you got any other questions, feel free to drop them in the comments and I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. And with that said, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!